We've seen what happens when failovers and switchovers go reasonably well. Now let's see what happens if a failover or a switchover has not gone well, or perhaps a different failure scenario has caused a database copy to become unhealthy. I'm logged onto my second Exchange server, EBC EX2. And I'm just going to open the Exchange Management Shell. Let's have a look at the mailbox database copy status for all of our mailbox database copies. So currently all of the mounted copies or active copies are on EBC EX1, and all of the passive, and in this case healthy passive servers, passive copies are on EBC EX2. Jumping into the administrative tools here, let's go into services. And I'm going to stop the Microsoft Exchange Information Store service. And we'll just pop back into PowerShell and just see what impact that has on our mailbox database copy status. So far it's picked up that one database copy has failed. If we give this a few more moments, it should pick up that all of these database copies have failed. Let's take another look. Okay, we've got 3 failed database copies. So let's go into the file system, and I'm simply going to delete all of the files in this copy of DB1. You'll find you won't be able to delete the catalog files or the search index files there if the search index service is still running, so don't worry too much about that. One more check to confirm that they're still in a failed state, so let's start up the information store service again. I'll just give that a few moments, and then we'll check our database copy status again. Let's take another look. So our copies of the archive DB and DB2 came back as healthy. A copy of DB1, which is the files that were deleted from the file system, has come back as failed and suspended. And obviously we need to take some sort of manual remediation. So let's go into the Exchange Admin Center. Navigate to the databases section. Here's DB1, and there's that failed and suspended passive copy. So what we need to do is reseed that database copy, which in effect means make a new copy of it from the active copy, or in fact we can make a copy of it from any healthy active or passive copy. In this case, I've only got one other copy to seed that database copy from. So let's go ahead and start that process by clicking on the update link here. You see we have a choice of specifying a source server for seeding. If you don't choose one, it just uses the server hosting the active copy of the database. Click on save, and then we just need to wait for that seeding process. And you can see you get this progress indicator here that tells you exactly how much data has been copied and how much is remaining. And obviously that process will take a varying amount of time depending on the size of your databases and the speed of the network over which you are seeding that database copy. So I've allowed that reseed to complete, and now my passive database copy is healthy again. We've got this unknown content index state, so I'll just refresh and see if we can get an update on that, or we'll drop into PowerShell, see if we can get some more details there. content index state still unknown. So this is probably a good opportunity to look at reseeding just the content index for a database copy. So let's try update mailbox database copy db1 ebcex2, and we'll use the catalog only switch, which tells it just to reseed just the content index, not the entire database. And I've made a typo. Are you sure you want to perform this action? I'll say yes, of course. And after a few minutes, I've got this interesting warning that the seeding of the content index catalog for my database has failed. And there's some extra information there just to verify whether the search host controller services are running. So let's do what it suggests. Let's have a look. Search and search host controller. They're both running on this node. Let's have a look at services on the source server as well. They're both running as well, just refreshing to verify that. So it seems there may be a problem with either the index on the source server or the index files that were left behind on the second server where I'm trying to reseed them to. So let's see if we can work out a way to fix that. So if you've got search indexes or catalogs, content indexes, all different ways of saying the same thing basically. If you've got those causing some problems for you, what you can do is stop those search services. And in the file system, just delete or rename those files. I'll just rename them for now. .old. Start those services up again. Let's have a look at our mailbox database copy status as it stands right now. Okay, we need to give that a few minutes to recover on the server ebcex2 since we've just started those services up again. Okay, so we get a chance now to try to reseed that content index again. Process is completed, and we'll take another look at our mailbox database copy status. Now we're back to all healthy in the content indexes. So that process went reasonably well. We simulated a database failure, reseeded the database copy onto ebcex2, and then after the database copy had been successfully reseeded, needed to take some manual steps to bring the content index back into a healthy state as well. So now that you have a working high availability deployment at both the client access server and the mailbox server level, you'll find that as you're doing other exercises and other training in your test lab environment, that things may from time to time break. And that's actually quite a good thing because it lets you see some of the real world scenarios that may pop up in your day-to-day job, and you can become familiar with the troubleshooting and the remediation steps for all those different scenarios. So that's an example of how this training lab environment is going to help you in your real world day-to-day working life with Exchange Server 2013.